Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day. Don't forget, grab your smartphone and download the Lava Matra app and stay in touch. Guru Mahārāja's message is your advantage. The following is a Sri Kṛṣṇa Caitanya book compilation given by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Mahārāja on October 8th, 2021 in Sri Mayapur, India.
Pangong Langayate Girim Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Shri Caitanya Mishwaram. Sat. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today we will continue with compilation of Sri Kṛṣṇa Caitanya book. Today's chapter is entitled Encounter with Pāṭhāna Soldiers. Under the section Lord Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu's visit to Sri Vrindavan. Caitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.158.
রাজপুত কৃষ্ণদাস ও মাথুর সানোয়ারিয়া উভয় পতজ্ঞ প্রেমী কৃষ্ণদাস আর সহিত ব্রাহ্মণ গঙ্গা তীর পথে যাইবার বিজ্ঞ দুইজন.
Both Rajput Krishnadas and the Sanodia Brahman knew the path along the Ganges bank very well. Caitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.159.
পথে এক বৃক্ষতলে সকলে বিশ্রাম অর্থ উপবেশন যাইতে এক বৃক্ষতলে প্রভু সভা লইয়া বসিলা সবার পর শান্তি দেখিয়া.
While walking, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, understanding that the others were fatigued, took them all beneath a tree and sat down.
Lord Caitanya was always conscious of his devotees.
So Lord Caitanya was always conscious of his devotees. Caitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.160.
গাভী বিচরণ দর্শনে ব্রজলীলা স্মৃতি সেই বৃক্ষ নিকটে চরে বহু গাভীগণ তাহা দেখি মহাপ্রভু উল্লাসিত মন.
There were many cows grazing near that tree, and the Lord was very pleased to see them.
So, seeing the cows, Lord Caitanya became reminded of Vrindavan.
So seeing the cow, Lord Caitanya became reminded of Vrindavan and again became ecstatic. Caitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.161.
হঠাৎ একটি বংশীধ্বনি শ্রবণে প্রভুর প্রেম মুচ্ছা আচম্বিতে এক বংশী বাজাইল শুনি মহাপ্রভু মহাপ্রেমাবেশ হইল.
Suddenly a cowherd boy blew on his flute, and immediately the Lord was struck with ecstatic love.
Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu became ecstatic.
Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu became ecstatic hearing a cowherd boy playing on his flute. He was reminded of Kṛṣṇa. Caitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.162.
অচেতন হইয়া প্রভু ভূমিতে পড়িলা মুখে ফেনা পরে নাসায় শ্বাসরুদ্ধ হইলা.
Filled with ecstatic love, the Lord fell to the ground unconscious. He foamed about the mouth, and his breathing stopped.
This was something that frequently happened to the Lord.
So this was something that previously happened to the Lord.
He became ecstatic. Sometimes he became unconscious.
He became ecstatic. Sometimes he became unconscious.
Foam would come from his mouth.
Foam would come from his mouth.
And various ecstatic symptoms would manifest.
And various ecstatic symptoms would manifest. Caitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.163.
এমন সময় তথায় 10 জন অশ্বরোহী পাঠানের আগমন। হেনকালে তাহা আশোয়ার 10 আইলা, মেলচ্ছ পাঠান ঘোড়া হইতে উত্তরিলা।
While the Lord was unconscious, 10 cavalry soldiers belonging to the Muslim Pathan military order rode up and dismounted. Caitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.164.
প্রভুর সঙ্গী 4 জনকেই প্রভুর হত্যাকারী দস্যুগানে দলপতি নিধন উদ্যোগ। প্রভুরে দেখিয়া মেলচ্ছ করে বিচার, এই জ্যোতি পাশ ছিল সুবর্ণ অপার।
Seeing the Lord unconscious, the soldiers thought, this sannyasi must have possessed a large quantity of gold.
So the Pāṭhāna soldiers thought that to steal Lord Chaitanya's gold
So the Pathan soldiers thought that to steal Lord Chaitanya's gold,
the associates had somehow made him unconscious
his associate had somehow made him
with
unconscious
some form of poison.
with some form of poison. Caitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.165.
এই চারি বাটোয়ার ধুতরা খাইয়া, মারি ডাকিয়াছে জ্যোতির সব ধন লইয়া।
These 4 rogues here must have taken away that sannyasi's riches after killing him by making him to take the poison Dhutura. Caitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.166.
তবে সেই পাঠান 4 জনেরে বাঁধিল, কাটিতে চাহে গৌরিয়া সব কাঁপিতে লাগিল।
Thinking this, the Pathan soldiers arrested the 4 persons and decided to kill them. Because of this, the 2 Bengalis began to tremble. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The 4 persons were Balabhadra Bhattacharya, his assistant Brahmana, Rajput Kṛṣṇadasa, and the Sanodiya Brahmana, devotee of Madhavendra Puri.
Mahārāja and his assistant began to tremble.
Balabhadra Bhattacharya and his assistant began to
They were
tremble.
very afraid.
They were very afraid. Caitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.167.
কৃষ্ণদাস ও মাথুর ব্রাহ্মণের নির্ভয়ে পাঠানকে পরিচয় আদি প্রদান। কৃষ্ণদাস রাজপুত নির্ভয় সে বড়, সেই বিপ্র নির্ভয় সে মুখে বড় দর।
The devotee Kṛṣṇadas, who belonged to Rajput race, was very fearless. The Sanodiya Brahman was also fearless, and he spoke very bravely.
So the 2 residents of Mathura,
So the 2 residents of Mathura,
they know how to speak to the Rajputs.
they know
They know how to speak to the Pāṭhāna soldiers.
They knew how to speak to the Pāṭhāna soldiers,
They were not afraid.
and they were not afraid. Caitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.168.
বিপ্র কহে পাঠান তোমার পাৎসার দোহাই চলো তুমি আমি শিকদার পাশ যাই
The Brahmana said, "You Pāṭhāna soldiers are all under the protection of your king. Let us go to your commander and get his decision." Caitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.169.
এই জ্যোতি আমার গুরু আমি মাথুর ব্রাহ্মণ পাৎসার আগে আমার আছে শত জন
This sannyasi is my spiritual master, and I am from Mathura. I am a Brahmana, and I know many people who are in the service of the Muslim king.
The Sanodiya Brahman, he was explaining that 100 people who are working for the Muslim king,
So the Sanodiya Brahman, he was explaining that he knows 100 people who are working for the Muslim king,
and that they did no wrong.
and that they did no wrong. Caitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.170.
এই জ্যোতি ব্যাধিতে কবু হয়েন মূর্ছি অবহি চেতন পাইবে হইবে সম্বিত
This sannyasi sometimes falls unconscious due to the influence of a disease. Please sit down here, and you'll see that he will very soon regain consciousness and his normal condition.
So they explained Lord Chaitanya's ecstasy as a kind of periodic disease.
So they explained that Lord Chaitanya's disease is some kind of a periodic disease,
And that he would soon regain his normal consciousness.
and that he will soon regain his normal consciousness. Caitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.171.
অনেক ইহা বৈশ বান্ধি রাখো সবারে ইহাকে পুছিয়া তবে মারিহ আমারে
Sit down here for a while and keep us all under arrest. When the sannyasi regains his senses, you can question him. Then, if you like, you can kill us all.
So the Brahman Mathura gave this logic
So the Brahmin of Mathura gave this logic
to the Pāṭhāna soldiers.
to the Pāṭhāna soldiers. Caitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.172.
পাঠানের ক্রোধ ভরে সকলকে দস্যু বলিয়া উক্তি পাঠান কহে তুমি পশ্চিমা মাথুর দুইজন গৌরিয়া ঠক এই কাঁপে দুইজন
The Pāṭhāna soldiers said, "You are all rogues. One of you belongs to the western lands, one to the district of Mathura, and the other two who are trembling belong to Bengal."
These Pāṭhāna soldiers analyzed
So these Pāṭhāna soldiers analyzed
and knew the origin of each
and knew the origin of each person. Caitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.173.
প্রত্যুত্তরে কৃষ্ণদাসের পাঠানকে ভয় প্রদর্শন ও কটু বাক্য কৃষ্ণদাস কহে আমার ঘর এই গ্রামে 200 তুর্কি আছে শতেক কামানে
Rajput Krishnadas said, "I have my home here, and I also have about 200 Turkish soldiers and about 100 Turkish soldiers or 100 cannons."
Rajput, he was threatening them
So the Rajput, he was threatening them
and telling how he had so many soldiers behind him.
and telling them how he had so many soldiers behind him. Caitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.174.
এখনি আসিবে আমি যদি ফুকারি ঘোড়া পিরা লুটি লবে তোমা সবা মারি
If I call loudly, they will come immediately to kill you and plunder your horses and saddles.
The Rajput in this way
So the Rajput
and the soldiers.
in this way threatened the soldiers. Caitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.175.
গৌরিয়া বাট পার নহে তুমি বাট পার তীর্থবাসী লুটার চাহ মারিবার
The Bengali pilgrims are not rogues. You are rogues, for you want to kill the pilgrims and plunder them.
The Rajput is returning the threat that actually rogues want to plunder the Bengali pilgrims.
So the Rajput is returning the threat that they are rogues and they want to plunder the Bengali pilgrims. Caitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.176.
পাঠানের ভয় শুনিয়া পাঠান মনে সংকোচ হইল হেন কালে মহাপ্রভু চৈতন্য পাইল
Upon hearing this challenge, the Pāṭhāna soldiers became hesitant. Then suddenly Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu regained consciousness.
So, and the Rajput Kṛṣṇa spoke so heavily,
When the Rajput Kṛṣṇa spoke so heavily,
the Pāṭhāna soldiers got hesitant.
the Pāṭhāna soldiers got hesitant.
They felt fear of whether it's true.
They felt fear.
What if it's true?
What if it's true?
And Lord Caitanya became conscious.
And Lord Caitanya became conscious. Caitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.177.
প্রভুর বাহ্যদশা ও নৃত্য কীর্তন হুঙ্কার করিয়া ওঠে বলে হরি হরি প্রেমাবেশে নৃত্য করে ঊর্ধ্ববাহু করি
Coming to his senses, the Lord very loudly began chanting the holy name.
Hari 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 Bol!
Hari 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 Bol! The Lord raised his arms upward and began to dance in ecstatic love.
This must have been very surprising to the Pāṭhāna soldiers.
So this must have been very surprising to the Pāṭhāna soldiers.
And Lord Caitanya jumped up and started to chant
When
Hari Bol.
when Lord Caitanya jumped up and started to chant Hari Bol. Caitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.178.
পাপী মেলেচ্ছের হরিনাম শ্রবণে কষ্ট প্রেমাবেশে প্রভু যাবে করেন চিৎকার মেলেচ্ছর হৃদয়ে যেন লাগে শেলধার
When the Lord shouted very loudly in ecstatic love, it appeared to the Muslim soldiers that their hearts were struck by thunderbolts.
And they had the Pāṭhāna soldiers had thought Lord Caitanya was killed,
So the Pāṭhāna soldier thought that Lord Caitanya was killed,
and that the four had looted his wealth.
that the four had looted his wealth.
And Lord Caitanya, when he jumped up and started chanting and dancing loudly,
When Lord Caitanya jumped up and started chanting loudly,
the Pāṭhāna soldiers were like struck like thunderbolts in their heart.
so the Pāṭhāna soldiers were struck like thunderbolts in their heart. Caitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.179.
মেলেচ্ছর তৎক্ষণাৎ চারিজনের বন্ধন মোচন প্রভুর ভক্তদ্রোহ দর্শনে অবকাশ অভাব। ভয় পাইয়া ম্লেচ্ছ ছাড়ি দিল চারিজন, প্রভু না দেখিল নিজ গণের বন্ধন।
Seized by fear, all the Pāṭhāna soldiers immediately released the four persons. Thus Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu did not see his personal associates arrested.
Lord Caitanya, they thought was killed,
Lord Caitanya, who they thought he was killed,
was chanting and dancing,
was chanting and dancing,
and they realized that maybe they had done the wrong thing.
they realized maybe they had assumed the
Really released the four.
wrong thing and immediately released the four.
Lord Chaitanya didn't see that his associates were arrested.
Lord Caitanya didn't see that his associates were arrested. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.180.
মেলোচ্ছ দর্শনে প্রভুর ভাব সম্বরণ। ভট্টাচার্য আসি প্রভুরে ধরি বসাইল, মেলেচ্ছগণ দেখি মহাপ্রভুর বাহ্য হইল।
At that time, Balabhadra Bhattacharya went to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and made him to sit down. Seeing the Muslim soldiers, the Lord regained his normal senses.
Lord Chaitanya was in ecstasy.
So Lord Chaitanya was in ecstasy
He was not aware what was going on.
and he was not aware what was going on.
When Balabhadra Bhattacharya had to sit down,
So Balabhadra Bhattacharya had him to sit
saw
down,
the soldiers,
saw the Muslim soldiers.
and they gained external consciousness.
When he saw the Muslim soldiers, he regained his external consciousness. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.181.
ম্লেচ্ছগণের প্রভু বন্দনা ও চারিজনের বিরুদ্ধে অভিযোগ। ম্লেচ্ছগণ আসি প্রভুর বন্দিল চরণ, প্রভু আগে কহে এই ঠক চারিজন।
All the Muslim soldiers then came before the Lord, worshipped his lotus feet and said, "Here are four rogues." Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.182.
এই চারি মিলি তোমায় ধুতরা খাইয়া, তোমার ধন লইল তোমায় পাগল করিয়া।
Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.183.
চারিজনকে নিজজন বলিয়া প্রভুর পরিচয় দান। প্রভু কহেন ঠক নহে মোর সঙ্গীজন, ভিক্ষুক সন্ন্যাসী মোর নাহি কিছু ধন।
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "These are not rogues, they are my associates. Being a sannyasi beggar, I do not possess anything."
Lord Chaitanya explained to them he was a beggar
So Lord Chaitanya explained to them that he was a beggar sannyasi
He did not have any wealth.
and he did not have any wealth.
So these four persons were his personal associates.
And these four persons were his personal associates. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.184.
মৃগী ব্যাধিতে আমি কবু হই অচেতন, এই চারি দয়া করি করে না পালন।
Due to epilepsy, I sometimes fall unconscious. Out of their mercy, these four men maintain me.
Lord Chaitanya explained away his ecstasy by saying it was epilepsy.
So, Lord Chaitanya explained his ecstasy by saying it as epilepsy,
And that his personal associates were maintaining him.
and that his personal associates were maintaining him. Thus ends the chapter entitled Encounter with Pāṭhāna Soldiers, under the section Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's visit to Sri Vrindavan.
Do you like our ad-free videos? Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day, and don't forget to like and share our channel.